What's up, my friends? Leo Cannell here with the Seven Figures Club podcast. Today's episode is all about the vital importance of having a big, hairy, audacious goal, and how in the next 5 years we're going to have 100,000 funding partners and agents here at Seven Figures Funding, and how we're going to provide over $1 billion in business funding on an annual basis to entrepreneurs and business owners. Why am I telling you this? Because if you don't tell people about your big, hairy, audacious goals, they will never happen. Let's go. There are over 32 million businesses in the U.S., and over 90% of them will never break 7 figures in annual sales. So how do we as entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs break into that 7 figures club? This podcast will relentlessly share the secrets, strategies, and tactics I've used to create 3 multi-7 figures businesses and bring in even more successful entrepreneurs than me to share their inspirational stories and tactics to success. You can create your dream business and life right now. So buckle up and let's go. So, hope you guys are having an amazing day, a great week. Hope you're making every second count. You are taking massive action, you're being legendary, and you're digging deeper and holding yourself accountable and trying to create something that makes a massive impact on the world. So in the book, From Good to Great by Jim Collins, this is a book written in the late 90s. It's a hell of a book, just an amazing book about entrepreneurship and building businesses. And in this book, he studies and he goes over companies that were good that became great, that had extraordinary growth, that their value of their business increased just substantially, from year to year to year to year. And he talks about some important things. He talks about having the right people on the bus, the right people on your team, because then even if the bus is going the wrong direction, if you got the right people, you can easily change directions, pivot, and you're still in great shape. One of the most exciting things he talks about in that book is the fact that if you don't have a big, hairy, audacious goal that everybody in the company knows about, then it's hard to create a great company. It just really is. And so big, hairy, audacious goals are where it's at. One of my guys' mentors, his goal is crazy. He wants to have 500,000 insurance agents at his insurance agency. That's a goal he has. And so as I've been thinking about this, and I read that book, my goodness, going to say maybe 4 years ago. So, it's been a while. It's a wonderful book. I absolutely found it fascinating and intriguing, but I haven't done that. I've had sort of some specific big, hairy, audacious goals, but they were almost more selfish and not something that the whole team would see as a big, hairy, audacious goal. And so my new big, hairy, audacious goal is to provide over $1 billion, to facilitate over $1 billion in funding every single year annually. And having done $500 million in the last several years, that's awesome. But to be able to do $1 billion a year in funding that creates 100,000 jobs and allows all these entrepreneurs to be able to create their dream business and life, that's my new big, hairy, audacious goal for our team, for our organization. I'm incredibly excited about it. And in order to get to that goal, I know we're going to have a big network, not of insurance agents, but of funding agents. So my goal over the next 5 years is that we'll have over 100,000 funding agents. And with those agents armed and trained with all of our technology, software, tools, proven marketing and networking strategies to generate, tons of funding deals, that is how I know we can get up to that level of providing over $1 billion in funding for clients across the country. And with our marketplace, it's not like we come up with that money, but all of our different funding sources, it's knowing every single source and then easily connecting that up with the client with customized underwriting and algorithms. So anyway, what's your big, hairy, audacious goal? What's the big, hairy, audacious goal that's going to drive you? And if you can set it now and not have to change it, of course, maybe you'll tweak, pivot, have some different things. But if you have that clarity of what that big, hairy, audacious goal looks like, you're going to be able to grow so much quicker. Everybody's going to be on the same page, and then every daily decision becomes so much more simpler, right? Is the decision I'm about to make aligned with my big, hairy, audacious goal? And then what about your team and your leaders? Is every decision they're making aligned with taking us as a company closer to that big, hairy, audacious goal? So I'm incredibly excited to kind of announce this as our big, hairy, audacious goal to our team. Their mouths will drop and be like, how in the hell are we going to do that, Leo? I'm going to be like, we're going to do it through our funding partner program. And we're going to do it with you guys stepping up and becoming leaders as this company grows, because it's the first people that have been with me for a few years. You've got the training, knowledge, and foundation. Now you have to step up as leaders. You're going to make a lot more money doing it, which is the upside of it, but it's going to stretch you. You're going to have to dig deeper. You're going to have to spend more time. You're going to have to read more leadership and entrepreneurial books. You're going to have to be really honest with your shortcomings and find ways to strengthen those shortcomings, and then continue to, get results and hold people accountable and be a leader. And so I'm excited to have that clarity of that big, hairy, audacious goal as it drives us for the next few years, and we can truly make a difference. And for a lot of businesses, they're not going to stay in business, and so many businesses are going out of business right now. But at the same time, there's a record growth of new businesses starting, and we're probably the best in the country at providing, facilitating new funding options for startup companies, because most people think of startup and they're like, oh yeah, venture capital, Facebook, Twitter, but the truth and reality is less than, maybe 2, 3, 4% of businesses will ever get venture capital, crowdfunding, or even like a big SBA loan to start a business from their bank. Like, those things are very rare. So the other 95% of businesses that don't really get any help, that's where we can step up with our creative financing products to help them, get money to launch their dream business. And so boy, it feels good to have that clarity and be able to share that big, hairy, audacious goal with our team and get on the same page with what we're all trying to accomplish together. So again, if you don't have that big, hairy, audacious goal, you've got to establish it. And then there are going to be some key goals and underlying factors to help you, achieve that big, hairy, audacious goal. In our business, like I said, I know we need to have 100,000 funding agents. We've got an awesome sales funnel that's going to be able to bring a lot of people into the business, and without me having to talk with them all individually, I've got the training portal. I've got invested in technology and software to facilitate the entire process, to create them an automated website, an automatic funding page where they can send people to, and then a funding partner recruital page where they get paid for recruiting people to kind of build their own team and organization underneath the umbrella of Seven Figures Funding. So those, I know, are the things that I've got to do if we're going to achieve our big, hairy, audacious goals. So what are the underlying steps that you're going to have to take and that your team are going to have to take in order to achieve your big, hairy, audacious goal? And I think without a doubt, the key to doing it is you have to make investments in software, in technology that you control to a certain extent to make that happen, because there's only so much time that each of us have in the day to do things. If you're not investing in technology and software to help you achieve those results, it's going to be very, very difficult. And I ask that question with every entrepreneur, Seven Figures Club interview that we do on this podcast. I'll ask him, what has technology done for your business, and what has the decision process been like in terms of making those investments and those decisions? And in every case, every successful entrepreneur has talked about it. In the podcast with Brent Williams, who sold his dental insurance agency for it was a decent 8-figure sum. He's in good shape, and he talked about it. Until he invested in the right technologies and the right software that they could control at least a key aspect of it, in terms of what the customer enjoyed, they weren't going to grow like they did. And until he invested in the right people, the right leaders, he wasn't going to be able to build a business that would allow him to actually have a life at the same time. And That's the key, building a business that can thrive even if you're on vacation for a month. And so those are the thoughts that I have for you today. Not as long as maybe one of our typical podcasts, but certainly some important things for you to think about and take action on. And guys, while you're listening to this, take action. Don't just listen and say, oh, that's a cool idea. No, write that down. Write it in your book. Set it, 15, 20 minutes aside today or tomorrow where you can really think clearly, what's my big, hairy, audacious goal? And if you're not taking time out to meditate each day and really think about the life and the business and the family you want to have, then you're not going to do it. You're not going to be able to create that dream business and life that you want unless you take time out each day to meditate and do that. And that's partly why I built the upper deck. I don't know if you've seen that video on our YouTube channel, but so on our second floor of our house, there was no balcony there. We spent a ton of money to put a deck balcony there, and that wasn't going to be good enough for me because there was no view. I mean, I could see into people's yards. I could see a little bit of the mountains, and I'm like, all right, let's put a second upper deck on top of that that's about 11, 12 feet higher than the actual deck, and it's up to the very top of our roof, and you can see almost 360-degree views of the Rocky Mountains here, the Wasatch Mountains in Utah County. You can see Utah Lake where we go boating and wakeboarding, and it's beautiful, the view that you have up there. I love going up there a couple times every day in the morning and at night to kind of meditate and think about what I want to accomplish and big, hairy, audacious goals, etc. So that would be my next recommendation. Find that special place where you can just chill out. Maybe it's in your car. Maybe it's in somewhere you drive at lunch, or maybe it's just in your home office on the couch or in your basement. I mean, wherever it is, take that time out each day to meditate and think about what you're going to do today, and hopefully what you're doing today aligns up with your big, hairy, audacious goal. And if you don't have it, get that big, hairy, audacious goal because it's going to drive you to amazing success. Are you looking for more seven-figure secrets, content, or even how you can launch your own recession-proof business? Then check out sevenfigures.com. That's the digit 7, Figures.com, where we share more videos, stories, strategies, funding solutions, entrepreneurial education, and even the secret business type that's recession-proof. Thank you for listening, and if you're finding value in our podcast, please give us a 5-star and invite others to join the club.